Hey, welcome everybody to our Business Women Live. And today I'm going to invite Anabelle Dipilla. I can't wait for you guys to meet her because she is one exciting businesswoman in longevity and health. So let's invite her in. You know, sometimes we do have different. Welcome, Anabelle.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Am I too close? Sometimes it goes like it like sucks your face in. So I'm like,
And
I need to have a good distance here.
Same. I thought I even zoomed it because I thought it's going to be too far out, but this is working out perfect and you look great. The positioning is perfect. So welcome, Annabelle. Welcome
Thank
and thank
you.
you for joining the live today. I can't wait for you to introduce yourself and let more people, more audience know about what you do. You know, you do come from a successful background in in business and I believe in finance and
Yeah.
your background. So you'll explain all of that. But today we're going to talk more about longevity and health and some more extra details that we are so excited to announce today.
Good.
Yes,
So
so
should I?
I would love for you to introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It is exciting to do this with you. I feel like I've seen you do this so many times. I'm like, I gotta come on. So I'm
Yes,
really, really happy that you're having me on. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Just for everybody that is on with us today, I am Annabelle. I am originally from the Dominican Republic, and I came to the States 20 something years ago to do my MBA. I have a background in engineering. So ever since I graduated college, I went into the industrial market. So I did consulting for a long time. And then when that didn't serve me anymore, I transitioned into the financial industry. And it was the bulk of my career. I was very successful in what I did because it was a lot of people management and a lot of, just kind of the things that I'm good at, which is just that being able to meet people where they are and help them find a solution for what they're looking for. So, have it be in the wellness space or the financial space, I think that a lot of those characteristics transfer really well into different areas in life. I decided to retire during right after COVID. I had two little babies at home and I was traveling way too much. I was gone like 4 or 5 days out of every week, and it was too much with my little ones. So at that point in time, it was hard to walk away from it all. But I was like, you know what? I've done it. I've built a name for myself. And I got to a point where I was okay doing that. And for a couple of years, I did other things. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I started different businesses and decided that it was just like the same thing, trading a different type of away, but still very much away from my children and my family. So when this opportunity landed on my lap, which is what I'm doing now, I'm in the wellness space. I help people connect with medical providers for longevity and wellness solutions. And I actually started as a patient myself, and how I realized that this had transformed my health in such a short amount of time, I decided that I wanted to share it with the world. I was like, I cannot keep this to myself. And since I've had a big passion about wellness and longevity my entire life, I said, oh my gosh, this is the perfect opportunity for me to build a legacy, to build something that I am so proud of, that I can wake up every single day. And you know how the cliche hits you and it's like, you should do something you're passionate about and you love every day. Well, easier said than done, right? Like people sit there and say, what am I passionate about? What am I? A lot of people don't have that, right? Like they don't know exactly what it is.
Sometimes you have to dig more into it, you know, try different things to find out that there is things you are passionate about without even knowing you were ever passionate about it.
Exactly. And so I just said how lucky I am that I get to wake up and help people and, you know, make a living doing that, which wasn't even, it was kind of like a secondary part of this endeavor. So that's kind of how I am. I have my two little boys. I'm a stepmama of three girls that are older. They're all college and over. And so I'm busy, and that's in a nutshell who I am.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you did answer a lot of my questions on your presentation here, which that's exactly what I wanted everybody to know and hear from you. So, what does longevity mean to you? Because we're gonna dig more into it as we go.
Yep. So longevity to me is more than just living longer, right? Living
Mhm.
longer is extending your lifespan. Longevity is really extending your health span. And so when you think about it, people are living longer now, but they are spending that elderly age managing chronic illness. And now the focus is shifting a lot towards preventative health and really affecting your health span, meaning how much energy, how much stamina I have later on in life where I can still, get up and do the things that I enjoy doing. Because honestly, I feel like most people would rather not live as long if they know they're not going to have their health and they're going to be struggling the
That's a
last
good one.
10 years
Yeah,
of their lives,
that's a
right?
good one. Yeah, I would. I've
Yeah.
thought that of myself.
Yeah.
I thought,
So,
rather than struggling, I'd rather not even.
yeah. So to me, longevity is adding quality life and quality years to your life.
So, why do you think people wait until last minute to take action in their health?
That's a really good question. And honestly, if you think about it, why is that? Because we do maintenance in our house, we do maintenance to our cars, we do maintenance in, so many other aspects in our life. This is constant what we're doing. But when it comes to our health, I thought long and hard about this. I'm like, well, I think it's because this is the healthcare system that we live in. Our healthcare system is a sick based healthcare system, meaning they will rescue you when you're sick. They are not trained. You think about our doctors, they're not trained in nutrition and longevity and so many other things that are booming right now because people are realizing, wait a minute, I don't have to age like this anymore. There's tools, there's modern medicine that has so many options for us. But unfortunately, our doctors are not trained like that. So we are so predisposed to be in that sick care type of,
Mhm.
model rather than true health care. And so that's the reason. And I think that's changing. And I'm very excited to see what's happening right now in the market.
And this is changing just like everything else in the world because I always have this idea, we came from living in caves and in different ways. And now we are advanced in the way we live, in the way now it's in the way we
Right.
eat, the medicine, and
Yep.
now the new terms are longevity and wellness, I guess, right?
Yeah.
There's trending, but for a purpose because we advance through generations and through years. And
Yeah.
thank God for that. So, what are
100%.
the biggest misconception in about aging, basically, or?
So I think that one of the biggest things is that people think that aging is just an inevitable part of life, right? Like when you are feeling fatigue and you have, you're gaining weight and your metabolism crashes and you have brain fog, right? All those things are inevitable parts of aging. And I think it's a huge misconception because truly there is so much that you can do to affect the way that you age in your life where those things no longer play true. And so it's super exciting to know that we have this education and this information available to us now, and it's out there for grabs, like for people that really are interested in learning how to affect their lifestyle and their quality of life. There is so much that can be done to make sure that we're aging in a way that it's not abrasive, I should say, like how our parents did it, right?
Exactly. And I don't think it's late ever to start because I have seen people, who thought their health has completely failed, even mid 60. And then a few years after they had figured out, they've done some research,
Mhm.
they took action in their health. And when I would see or meet them, months after, or maybe a year or two after, it was a completely different person in energy and the way
Yeah,
they held themselves. And when you
yeah.
ask, they did something about their health. So just because you're 60 or 70, don't think you're stuck. You are not stuck.
That's exactly right. And especially for elderly people, when you think about someone in their late 60s, early 70s, you think they'll be like, oh, there's no way. Like, that's too late for me. What am I going to do now? I'm going to go try and build muscle. Guess what? You can. A
Yes.
100%. And it is a lot less overwhelming than you think it is, right? Like there's so much out there. That part can be overwhelming, but the basics have never changed. The basics of protein intake, heavy lifting, walking, moving your body, that has never changed. Making sure you're sleeping, that has never changed.
Yes.
So those things are always going to apply and stay true for any wellness routine that you think of starting. And I've seen people in their 70s gone from
Yes.
overweight and extremely unhealthy to a six pack. Do you understand? Like, I follow this woman and she is unbelievable. She legitimately built muscle from 0 to 100 in
And
her
I've seen
70s.
that in person. I've seen that in person because there is times in my life where I am a gym rat,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up with some people that when I entered that particular gym, because sometimes with moving we switch locations or gyms,
Yeah.
and for a while I do stick to one location for as long as I can because
Mm-hmm.
I want to work out. That's pretty much my intention there. And I grew up with some people that were literally there when they were already retired, and for years of just seeing them, they would never change. Just it would get better and better. So
Yeah.
we know that if you're 60 or 60 something, you're not going to become 20. You're not going to look like a 20 or a 30 or 4-year old, but you're going to look the best of your ability where you're at.
100%. And more than looking, I think feeling, right? Like that
Yes.
feeling of being able to get out of a chair when you're 80. You see so many older people that just can't get out of the chair. And it is
Yes.
sad. I was driving the other day and there's this guy that was legitimately 90 degrees. This is his back and
Yeah.
and he was walking like this. I was like, oh my gosh,
And that's
this
because
poor person.
they needed the knowledge. They needed that information to be in their face at some point in their life.
Yeah.
Do other things do happen that we can't control, but majority of the things we can control. So
Mhm.
speaking of that, I mean, you came up or created Dipilla Wellness and Age Well culture.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about that?
Of course. So as I said, I stepped away from my corporate career, and when I decided that this is the space that I wanted to put all my focus and energy in, and knowing that I could affect so many lives through this, I started this two brands. One is my kind of corporate, so to speak, brand that I do through Dipilla Dentistry and Aesthetic Dentistry. So all of it is consultations through the Dipilla brand. And so that's Dipilla Wellness. And that's my coaching and wellness coaching business. And then the other part is just the community that I'm building online, and it's called HWell Culture. And it's just that. It's just, looking at the things that will help us age better, age well. And it goes anywhere from, looking at different tools that we have available, like peptides and, supplements and things like that, to, what are some of the biohacking things that actually do work,
Yeah.
like, hot and cold versus, other things that are just like, don't waste your time and money. So that's kind of what that community is doing, but it's really expanding the reach of my local business to be able to have these conversations, important conversations beyond the Michigan space.
Yes, of course. I mean, we all want to expand at some point when we
Mhm.
get too good at it. And I believe you are more than halfway there, being really good at the information you provide. So, what are you hoping to get through or in the wellness space? Like, what is your hopes in the results of your clients?
You know, I think in general, my hope, my biggest hope is that people have access to information that could be life altering, that people can make informed decisions about their healthcare, that
Mhm.
people can become more proactive about caring for themselves before they get sick. This is, I think, my mission. What I have set out to do. A lot of people go like, "Why don't you charge for this?" I'm like, I don't. I want to educate. Like I can sit with someone for 15 minutes and not charge them a dime, but I know that I'm leaving that conversation and
With
they're
an
walking
impact.
away with some knowledge. That if they do nothing with that knowledge, that's on them. But at least I put my little, you know, piece of the pie
Yeah.
to help them understand that they have options, that they can age in a much easier, less impactful, more impactful for their life, but less um, corrosive way. Because that's what happens to our bodies. Our bodies are like corroding, like our system starts failing like a
Yeah.
car. Once you've had X amount of miles in a car, you have 100,000 miles in a car, it starts giving you issues, right?
Of
Same
course.
thing with your bodies. So that's my hope. I think that's where I would like to see this go for myself, but more than that, for the people.
Yep. For the
We
people.
get very censored just because I don't have a doctor on my name.
Mhm.
it we get censored in these platforms
Yeah.
because I don't know if it's big pharma, I don't know what it is that is pushing this initiative to shut down all of these wellness and longevity conversations online. It's sad, but
It is.
I feel like people are determined to find the truth and get on a protocol that suits them and that meets them where they are in life. And hopefully, we're going to see our generation move the needle.
Yes, exactly. So speaking of wellness and your hope to basically make a impact in this, you recently became and involved with ellieMD. And I
Hmm.
know, like you just said, that, things like this are getting censored because we don't know where it's coming from and trying to shut down the conversation or the truth
Hmm.
about becoming healthier.
Yeah, it
So
is
what
sad.
attracted you to go with them?
Well, I mean, as I said, I started as a patient using peptides. Okay, I was as skeptical as everybody else, but I did my research.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I'm so desperate because it's a long story, which I'm not going to touch on right now, but basically, I had severe gastric issues that had me in pain for many, many years. It all started with, you know, heavy use of antibiotics trying to shut down a bacteria that I had caught during my son's birth. I went septic. I mean, it was really ugly and they didn't know what it was. So, this crazy amount of antibiotics that they pumped into my body just completely ruined my gastric lining. I mean, just beyond that. So I spent years trying to fix this situation. When perimenopause hit, I just got all these other symptoms added on to that. And I felt like I was an 80-year-old trapped in a 40-year-old body.
Yeah.
And I just needed to do something. I mean, my brain fog was horrible. So 3 weeks after I started using peptides, I was just like, oh my gosh. I woke up and I wasn't in pain for the first time in 8 years. In eight
Hmm.
years.
Hmm.
And if you've ever experienced any kind of pain, it could be heart pain or not heart pain, but like the pain, the pain is always there and it all of a sudden is gone, it stops you in your tracks.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was just like, I have to share this. Like, how many people are out there that are as stuck that as I was
Hmm.
and don't know that this is an option for them, that this is available. And I love the fact that Ellie's mission is to connect people to responsible and reliable healthcare providers that are going to evaluate that person's health and determine if that person is a good candidate to do this, right? And so for me, that was so important. But more than that is the education that was being provided around this and understanding, how this affects me for longevity, how this affects my system, how I can really help my body and provide the support that my body needed at that time. And it changes, right? Like as I evolve, as I get older, that level of support changes. And so I decided to deep dive into the ellieMD world. I've taken over 300, right now I'm like at 380 something hours of
Oh, wow.
education and really understanding how to help people and connect people to these tools because it is absolutely life altering.
And I feel you are the perfect fit because of your past experience with struggling with, health issues that you can't even figure out. You're
Yep.
stuck. And the perfect word is stuck. So,
Mhm.
as you know, I am involved as well, health wise, and I can't
Mhm.
wait to expand myself in this for myself first,
Yeah.
just so I have the right word to share for others to know more about, they come to me and say, "Oh, you look happier, you look lighter, fresher, you look
Yeah.
great, your skin is glowing." These compliments, and then we can start a conversation right there and then.
But
I
it
mean,
is so rewarding when you actually, when somebody comes onto you and says those things, and then you share your experience and your
yep,
testimony, and then they call you 3 weeks later, they're like, wow, I am so thankful that we had this conversation.
yes,
This
yep,
is like, I just had a call from someone that had tried to go on a GLP-1
hmm,
4 times before, 4 times. Okay, she didn't do anything that she needed to do. So I said, I'll coach you through it. We
hmm,
will do this together. And the number one thing was that she never tried a compounded version. Okay. She
yes,
always went with the brand names. Well,
yep,
guess what? She was reacting. She was having an allergic reaction to whatever preservatives were in those.
hmm,
And that just happened. Right. So she
that's,
couldn't do those. She couldn't tolerate, she couldn't handle them. She could not stay on them long enough to lose any weight. She
yep,
just called me. She's been on it for 4 months. And she said, I just want you to know I am eternally grateful to you. If I hadn't followed you for a little bit, I mean, this is someone I know for 20 years.
yes,
She did this like 8 months after I started posting about it. She's like, if I hadn't reached out to you, I think I would still be so stuck. And she's like, I've lost 25 pounds in 4 months and I have had zero side effects. And it is the only prescription that I've been able to tolerate. And so when someone does that and calls you and says things like, you're like, you impacted this
yep.
person's
You
life.
impacted, and it's a reward. That is the reward of what you're doing. So,
Yes.
I want to educate because we are on live. I'm going to save this. I'm going to download this. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on other platforms as well. But so maybe let's have a little education
Mhm.
only on the compound. What does with Ellie?
Yeah.
They get GLP-1s that are compounded. What's the difference between not compounded and compounded?
Okay. So in general, when you're talking about compounded peptides, you have peptides that are synthesized in a lab and then they come to the compounding pharmacy. When you have a compounding pharmacy that is FDA regulated, so 403A or B, those pharmacies are certified. They have clean rooms, clean processes. They have to triple wash their peptides, okay? So they are stripping them of all impurities. This is the absolute most important thing when somebody is looking at any type of peptide. So you have to make sure that you are getting it from a source that is triple washing it, meaning that they are getting it ready for human use,
Yep.
okay? If you don't have that, you'll find them cheaper, way
Yep.
cheaper somewhere else, but you are playing Russian roulette
Yep.
because it truly is just a guess. I mean, it could be perfectly fine, but it could be loaded with heavy metals, it could be loaded with impurities, and you
And
are putting
that's
this
why
right
they
into
get
your
reaction.
bloodstream.
That's
So
why it's
that's
reactions.
Yep. So that's the biggest difference. So when you're looking at the brand names,
Hmm.
they usually have preservatives in them that are different than what you would find in the compounding world. Usually, the compounding world mixes it with like B12. They mix it with, L-carnitine, glycine, some other additives, but they
Hmm.
don't mix it for preservation. They mix it for to make a differentiation from the brand names.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's the biggest difference. You have some chemical additives in the brand names that you don't have in the compounded version.
And that sounds wonderful because even the reviews, people can go check the reviews.
Yeah.
They are just excellent, you know, and
Yeah.
anyone who has like something bad to say about it, if they're talking about another brand,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
With the reviews there are kind of mixed with other brands and
Yeah.
they think it's all the same, but it's
Yeah.
not.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
so
not. Like the quality of your product matters, people. This
mhm.
is something I will never stop preaching. The quality and the source of your product matters more than anything else.
So how does LEMD fit into the larger conversations around wellness and longevity and then healthy aging?
So I, there's no time to talk right now about the founder and CEO of ellieMD, but she's also
Mhm,
a woman. She's extremely successful. She has failed in the past, though, which makes her humble and makes her understand that it takes grit and hustle and sweat equity in order to build something meaningful, but it also takes a community.
mhm,
And I think that the fact that she took this company in the direction that she did and she decided to share it with the community, right? We have access to Ellie through people like me and through like functional practitioners and through people like you who are interested in wellness, who are interested in sharing that with the people in your community. So I love the fact that we have that through Ellie, that we have a giant community of wellness aficionado people, doctors, chiropractors. I mean, there's a huge community of us that are representing Ellie. And so that's a big part, but also the trajectory and the vision and mission of this company is to really take this one step further. And instead of just providing you with one tool, they are adding so many other things. We now have hormone replacement therapy. We're coming out with our own little pen, peptide pen, which no other company has. Like, so now
mhm.
you're going to be able to do all your different peptides with an injectable pen that
Yes.
you're just dialing up your dose and doing it like, the brand names.
Mhm,
So that's huge. We also came up with the Reebok ring, which is a smart ring collaboration that we have with Reebok to be able to gather all this data and be able to help personalize the care for each person. And so that's the most important thing. We also have our own proprietary or a collaboration with a pharmacy that is 100% dedicated to LEMD, which can guarantee the quality and the consistency of every single batch. But we also are the first peptide provider in the United States that is 100% US made. That
mhm.
means that our prime materials, our APIs, are coming from a lab that we established in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody else is doing that. Nobody. So to me, that strive for excellence is what really drove me to the company, knowing that they are looking at way farther than just providing you with a few tools. It's like this is truly going to be a one-stop, you know, relationship for you to be able to have a virtual doctor that understands the functional space, that understands peptides, that understands HRT, that understands, how to use your data and make recommendations that are suitable for each person. So that's the most important thing for me.
And you know, it's so easy for someone like you who now put yourself in the experience to say, you know, the procedures of how to start or what to do to become healthier because you're now rolling in. You know, you
Yeah.
started somewhere, maybe you got help from, you know, it's you. Everyone starts from an inspiration or
Mhm.
somebody who helps them.
Yeah.
And I know it's difficult for a lot of people to do this, to start.
Yeah.
Once they start, it gets easier because then they find out that there's help and
Yeah.
there's great people who offer complimentary
Yeah.
help or consultations for this. So
100%.
if someone wants to improve
Hmm.
and wants to start today, where should they begin?
There's a lot
Speaking
of
of,
things that you can do, right?
yes.
Like you can
Mhm,
reach out to someone like you or me. I'm a healthcare consultant, so I can help people get started and figure out where they are in life and what are some of the basic steps. But these are just readily available. I mean, I was talking to a longevity doctor. I did a podcast with him last week, and I asked him the same question. I said, if somebody were to reinvent their life and like starting from zero, they do no wellness routine. What do? He said, breathe,
Yep.
take a deep breath. The first step in doing this is helping yourself regulate your nervous system. And you can do that by breathing. This is the first little healthy snack that you
Yep.
can add to your routine of every day. Why? It's going to lower your cortisol levels. It's going to help you sleep better at night. There's a lot of things that this will help you do to just get started. Then you fix your nutrition, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Well,
You just
just
need to know you
knowing,
need to be eating way more
yep,
protein than carbs. That's it.
just knowing that you be realizing that now you need the help, or now
Yeah,
you realize that, hey, I want to be better, is I think you're almost halfway there.
100%.
Just
100%.
realizing it, and then the next
And
step
then
would
just
be,
do these little healthy snacks during the
yep,
day. Healthy snacks, not for eating, but like wellness snacks. Those are,
yes,
instead of taking the elevator, take the steps. It's like
yes.
little things that you can add to your daily life without overwhelming yourself. And
Hmm.
then once you dial in your basics, like your nutrition is better, you're moving your body. That doesn't mean working out aerobics or nothing cardio. It means move your body. It means like get out of your house, walk for 10 minutes that way and 10 minutes the other way. You start with 20.
Yep,
You
and it's
start
a
two,
life
3 times a
changes.
week. And then you increase it from there. But once you start feeling the benefits and like cashing in those receipts from
Hmm.
all these little wellness snacks that you are consuming throughout the day, you will be motivated to want to take it one step further. And so, one step further is looking at supplements, right? Some of the things that you can support your body with, some of the tools that are available to you, like peptides, like HRT, like, so many other things that you can do to really start providing that support that your body is asking for,
Hmm.
especially if you're north of 35. I would say north of 40, but like a lot of women start their perimenopause in after 35.
Yes.
So this is a perfect time to start looking at what are some of the things that I can use to lessen the effect of aging as I'm going through
I
this.
love how you said healthy snacks by, just different movements, different
Mhm.
things like elevator to stairs, because people get overwhelmed, and that's where they get stuck. They realize something's wrong and they're like, where do I begin? And I
Mhm.
love how you named it. You put a label to it,
Yeah.
healthy snacks by
Yeah.
small steps every day,
Yeah.
small changes.
Yeah.
And then eventually all you need is, I know you need 90 days to really transform your habits, but a good 30 days
Yeah.
really puts, a shift in you. I've
100%.
done it many times. I've up and down with my health as well,
Yeah.
because I'm a mom of three kids. So all these changes, all these things had to
Yeah.
happen to me.
Yeah.
And that some of it is here.
Yeah. But I also say to
Yeah.
people, don't shoot for the stars. I mean,
Hmm.
start slow. I don't like, why are you having the goal of working out every day this week? Like, this is crazy. Nobody works out every day unless you're like bodybuilding.
Yep.
You need to start with small goals. Like, set up a 2 weeks, 2 days a week.
Hmm.
And no matter what, you're going to work out 2 days a week.
Hmm.
Okay. That's it. And then you can accomplish that.
As
Once you
you go.
accomplish that,
Yeah.
then you add another day.
Hmm. That's amazing advice. I love how you labeled it and put every word into what needs to be heard. So let's say a woman wants to invest in her health
Mm-hmm.
and wants to thrive tomorrow, meaning tomorrow, the year goes by fast. So I'll say tomorrow. It really
Yes.
does, because we're in June already. I still think it's
We can
January.
start today. Tonight. They can start tonight.
So, what would you say to them if they want to invest in their health? Because it does, investing is the time you put
Yeah.
these little steps and changes, and then it does involve eventually
Mm-hmm.
finance.
Um, I think that if someone wants to invest in their health and they have all of their basics dialed in, I think the next natural transition into it is understanding what
Yes.
areas
Hmm.
they're lacking in. Okay, what areas are you really struggling with it? All your bases are not really meeting you there. And then from there, you decide, okay, if it's the weight, weight is really difficult for perimenopausal women. So
Huge.
when you are struggling, I'm going to tell you, I did a keto diet for 3 months to try
Mhm.
and heal my stomach. I wasn't trying to lose weight with it. I gained 8 pounds. Mind you, I was weighing my food. Literally, I was taking my scale to the to
I
the
believe it.
restaurant,
I
and my
believe it.
doctor was like, "What?" My doctor, my husband was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't. I need." But this is what my body was doing. I was doing
Yes.
everything what I thought was, supposedly going to help me, but this is what happened. So I decided to provide myself with a microdose of a GLP-1 to help decrease inflammation in my body and then just, help me for longevity, right? Like I needed that tool in that
Mhm.
moment in time. Could I have done it on my own? Maybe, but I would have had to kill myself, which I
Yes.
didn't have time because I have two little boys that I'm running around,
I've done
like I'm,
it.
I'm eating half of my meals in the car because it's like, okay, well, they're going from here. This one's going from there. I'm like,
Yep.
so yeah, but what I say always is like I can also drive to Florida, but I don't. I fly. So why would I put myself through such like hustle to try and accomplish something that I can do using a tool that
And
is
I've done it myself.
science proven and science backed, right? Like that's what I say. So invest in something like this, where it's like, you start with one that will target the goal that you are trying to accomplish, and then you build from there.
Mhm.
Other little things, sauna. The sauna is amazing, right? Like you're sweating toxins, you're like, it's an infrared light, things like that are just like nice to have, but like easy, right? Like they're easy. It's like
They're
something
very
you have at
easy.
your house, you invest
Yep.
in that, you help with your clearer skin. Like, especially if you have acne and stuff like that, this is something that you can have, after any of the procedures that you do at a med spa. You can do a little
Mhm.
light, red light therapy at home. Just little things that you can do for longevity, wellness, anti aging, right?
And I know, like, so not everyone is per se privileged to have, a big financial balloon to do
Mhm.
things like this. But I also think that maybe they could take some type of other luxury investment that they put maybe in
Correct.
the outer appearance, the buying less outfits. They don't think they're spending, but they truly are spending a lot of money being trendy and in the latest styles
Give
and
me a
fashion.
second.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Sorry.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. My kid just went crazy on me for a minute. The joys of
Don't we
motherhood.
all have this? We all have our kids that do this. It's okay. It's part of our life. So as I was saying, they could buy less outfits and put that finance into their internal health to change your life. You don't understand the
Yeah,
level of excitement and life change this is.
100%. I mean, you think about dining
Just
out,
changing where you're putting your money.
how much you spend dining out, how much you spend buying coffee every day. Some people buy Starbucks every day.
Yes.
How much? When you think about a microdose, it's 239 per month, right?
Yep.
That's like two girlfriend dinners
Hmm.
out, right? That's what it is. If you think
Yes.
about NAD, which is amazing at regenerating your cells and providing, feeding your mitochondria and turning your food into energy. So it helps you with energy, it helps you with brain clarity, it helps you with certain many things. That is $175 a month. Like, so you think about stuff like that and you're like, okay, I have the money. I just need to
Just
figure
shift it.
out
Yes.
how
Yep.
to allocate it. And I'm going to tell you what's more expensive than this. You know what's more expensive than this? A hospital bill.
Yeah.
That's more expensive than this.
It's 100%. And then we get more tired. We put less towards work, towards, I mean, I've been there not long ago.
Hmm.
And you just got to shift. where you put for not, not everybody's so has that big finance and just putting in money at anywhere they want. So then you just
Yep.
prioritize and stop doing one thing to get the other. And I think
Hmm.
health would be your best fit.
Yep.
Start, maybe not now, but make a goal,
Yep.
build up, and then you'll see.
100%. 100%. And once you experience that
Once you
feeling,
experience.
once you experience feeling healthy at any age, you won't want to give it up. You really won't.
So what advice would you want to give into this for the future wellness, for the longevity, the impact you're trying to create? Because I want people to follow you.
Yeah. Well, my number one advice is I know this can be overwhelming, but you start by one reel. Watch one educational reel. That will plant the seed for you to really be curious. Be curious about what you can do for yourself because there is so much out there that you can do. You don't have to age the way that our parents age. There's HRT, there's peptides, there's different types of supplements. There's things that you can do for your brain cognition. You know that there's things that you can use to help your ADHD without taking Adderall. You can,
Mm-hmm.
1000%. So it's just planting the seed of curiosity to really go out there and follow accounts like mine, like Lisa's, where you have education, where you have information that is being put out there for you to really understand what your choices are. And then once you figure out, okay, all this stuff is available out there, I think I might want to try XYZ. Give it a try. The worst that's going to happen is you don't like it. You didn't
Yes.
like it. You didn't enjoy it. You committed 2 months of your life to it.
There's a lot
But
of resources, yeah, to
so,
at least figure out what it could be.
but educate yourself because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And when you do the research and you really understand what this is, like specifically about peptides, like you think about they are a short chains of amino acids. Like this is something your body makes naturally,
Yep.
right? So
It's kind
if
of like
a lot of people are like,
I
oh, they're going to do
see.
this and they're going to just like, no, I mean, your body's making it. So you're just supplementing because now you're
Yes.
deficient in
Yep.
the production of certain peptides in your body. And now you're signaling your body to perform certain functions that it no longer performs.
Yep.
So that's what it is, right? So, like, if when you understand that, all this other nonsense noise starts disappearing and vanishing, and then you start really focusing on the studies that are put out there, right? Like there's not a ton of studies for all of them, but a lot of these peptides do have medical journals and things that have been put out to help you understand a little bit of how this works and the impact that it would have in your body. So, there's a lot of that out there if people just took a little bit of time
To
to
get
be
educated.
curious about how to affect their wellness, their health for longevity. I think the outlook of the future of my generation anyway is going to look very, very different.
Yeah, I mean, not a long time ago, a few years back, people would die younger.
Yeah.
100 years ago, people died. When you were 40, you were old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of this. And as we advance, now we have all the resources, we have all the science that is
Yep.
backing the truth. And that's what I love about, associating myself in ellieMD and associating my business and getting to know people like you who are involved and actually truly educate people and impact them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So do you have any last message you would want to share about you? I want people to, focus on what you had to say and probably follow you.
I think that I am an eternal optimist. And I honestly, I truly believe that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. I
Mhm.
think that I've done it over and over in my life. And I think that for me, being in this space and building a legacy that my children can be proud of, that I
Yep.
can be proud of, that knowing that I am helping so many people is my absolute like wildest dream. And to be able to build financially alongside that is just the cherry on the top.
Yes.
So, to people out there, I would say it's never too late. You know, exactly where we started talking. It's never too late to just decide. It's a decision that you make one day, but you have to continue to make it every single day
Just
after
little
that.
consistency.
So, consistency, not perfection, consistency is what's going to take you to the other side of it.
Yes.
This is coming from someone that had issues taking any supplements in my life. Do you understand? Like even finishing like a whole course of antibiotics was so hard for me. Like I never took Advil. I mean, I've had a hard time sticking to supplements, and I've been pristine with this regimen because I had experienced that, you know, that amazing feeling of feeling good again in my skin, feeling like myself again. When you experience that, you won't want to let it go. So
Exactly.
that's all it is. You know, little consistent steps every day. Don't think you're going to be motivated every day. Like motivation is like just such a motivation is the same thing as happiness. It's
Yes.
like a very, you know, it's like a feeling that you experience once in a while. It's not a permanent type of, you know, state.
I mean, we're going to
So
have ups and downs on any level, on anything we ever do.
yeah,
I love what I do, but I have my down days that I question myself the whole day from
yeah,
beginning to the end.
yeah,
And then there's days where I'm doing what I love and I'm like, I want more. I'm
yeah,
not doing enough. I want to be triple this stressed
yeah,
about what I love. So yes, we're not going to feel great at every day with
yeah,
starting new journeys and like you said reinventing ourselves.
yeah,
It's never late to reinvent your career
yeah.
and join Annabelle and get in business with her. She's so amazing. Or never too late with your health.
Yeah, 100%. Never too late for anything in life, right? Never too late. So,
It's amazing. So I really appreciate you being on this live with me and sharing your personal journey. So
absolutely.
it's exciting, to have somebody share their personal journey, their personal health.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope
Uh-huh.
it didn't
No,
freeze
no,
you.
you're good. I want you to leave here though, like your link and people that are interested in um doing, you know, and learning a little bit more about the ellieMD opportunity, just from the standpoint of either, you know, you're interested in sourcing this support tools or you're interested in the business side of it, you know. It'd be great if they can connect through your link and understand how this works. It's a 100% concierge telehealth platform that will connect patients to board certified doctors that evaluate their healthcare history and prescribe this medication. So you receive everything at home with your dosing, your syringes, everything that you need to be successful in this journey. So make sure that you drop your link there so that people have access to understanding and learning a little bit more.
Yes, it's amazing. It was amazing to get this knowledge in. But don't forget that this will not be our last live. We will have educational lives. We will have more, performance information for people to get involved and actually join themselves in and get on rolling, whether it is health or business, whatever it is, we can support.
100%.
Yes, thank
So
you so
thank you
much.
so much for having me.
Appreciate it. I hope the audience got a great input from you and information. Take care, everybody.
My
Thank you for
pleasure.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Yep, this live will be downloaded, so all this information will stay on our channel.
Thank you. Bye.